Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome to Blooms in the Yard. Today, I'm really excited to be doing another thrift store treasures for the garden video. I love doing these. I have been looking for stuff for months now. I don't think I've done really well since like December or January. And this week, I hit it big. So I'm excited to show you what I found. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll then show you how I'm using these and styling these in my garden. I'm going to start with these. I got 3 of these. I think they're really cute. They were $2.99 each. They're pretty cute. I think that they would be really precious with like some little succulents in there or something. And I always love having groups of 3. So if I just like put them even just like on a piece of wood or a little stand or something, I think that they would be really precious. I made those little garden totes and I did the little tiny feet, and so I think just a piece of wood with the little tiny feet and these on it would be really adorable. Then I was specifically looking for something like this because it's like a galvanized pot with like ruffled edges, very antique looking. And I put some ground covers in there, didn't buy anything, just used stuff from my yard. And I just wanted something, structural. I was picturing something just like this to go in there. Now, this was $5.99. Everything was 20% off, of course. I always got to use my coupon. I don't know if I'm going to paint it. So maybe you guys can help me decide on that. Right now, it's this sort of gold, bronzy color. So I'm going to put it in that container and see what I think. But painting is definitely an option for this. Then I found this little pot. Now I feel like it can be used a lot of different ways because I can put a house plant in it, like a little variegated pothos coming out would be adorable. I can also use it as a vase. So I feel like it's like double duty there. So this one was $5.49 minus the discount. And then I got a little stand that I think that this will look adorable on. So this is a set. There's 3 of them, and they're almost like nesting tables or something like that. So to store them, they can all fit together. So the smallest is slightly smaller. It was $4.99 minus the discount for the whole set. And I had actually seen these a little while ago at the thrift store, and I was like, do I need those? I didn't get them. When I went back and I found this, I was like, oh, that would be really precious together. So then I ended up buying it. I've already found another pot that will look cute on these stands, so I think that I'll end up using them quite a bit without any trouble. I got this for $6.99. $6.99. I like it a lot. I think there's so many uses for it. I am going to be redoing my arbor that is kind of falling over. It's coming down with the storm drain project. And I'm going to be doing it out of wood instead of, right now it's like a flimsy metal. So I've been looking for something like this to include in that arbor. However, there's other ways I could use it. I can always just hang it on the wall or fence somewhere. But I also was thinking it's good enough sized that it could be like its own little trellis. If I could just somehow attach 2 poles that would go into the ground, then I could have like a clematis growing on this. So I think that this has a lot of potential. And, the metal looks like not brand new. It's matte. It's not rusty, I would say, but I like it. Well, it is dusty, I'm just noticing. Anyway, you never know how the wood will hold up outside, but once it gets aged, then it goes even more with the garden, I think. I'm just like thinking a trellis for this would be really sweet. I got this one, $6.99 again. I'll use some cocoa fiber to line it with, probably put a plastic bag in because the cocoa fiber lets out moisture a little bit too quickly for me. I have a really cool project planned to use this for, so I think I'm going to do a separate video where I show an entire area I'm designing around this. So then I got this for $5.49. And again, I think that it can kind of do double duty. It can either be a vase, which I think some Annabelle hydrangeas would look really beautiful in it, or you can do a potted plant. And I wouldn't want to fill this up with dirt all the way. I think the roots of the plant wouldn't go down that far. So I would put like a plastic yogurt container in the bottom and then put just a plant in a plastic nursery pot on top. So I might even fill this up with hydrangeas today. Okay, so I have one more thing, but it is too big for me to haul back here. So I'm going to take you to go see it. Here is the last and the largest item. This door actually does open, and I love this little curly closure here. It's about 5 feet tall, so a nice, good size. I've been wanting something like this for the fence, which this fence is going to be replaced. That's a whole long story, but what I have to figure out, it's super heavy, really heavy. It wore me out just carrying it out of the garage over to here. So I don't know that I would want to hang it on the fence or on the house. I could probably hang it on the house, but again, I was thinking maybe attaching 2 poles and seeing if I could get it to stand up that way. I'm also trying to decide if I want to paint it. So it's kind of a rusty color, but it's not rusted, right? It's just painted that color, and it's distressed looking. I don't hate it, but I think that it maybe could be a little bit better if I just painted it black or something like that. So if anybody has any opinions on the color that I could paint this, let me know. I think it'd be pretty easy because the door's open to just cover up that mirror and spray paint the whole thing. But I'm super excited about this. And for people who aren't into mirrors in the garden because of the birds, I just really don't think that the birds are going to try to fly through with the iron bars and stuff being there. So I really don't think it's going to be an issue. And so this, I did not get this from the thrift store. I got this from Facebook Marketplace for $20. I was super excited about that. I thought it was a really good deal for the size and like the heftiness of it. It's not like flimsy at all. It's super sturdy and heavy. Whoa. Okay, so now I'm going to pot up this cute little Greek-shaped vase. I really love this. And I have these Pothos that I have, I took cuttings. There's 2 little cuttings in here. They've only been in here about 2 weeks. They've barely started to root. I don't even know if you'll be able to, that's its one little root. If you can see, yeah, I think you can see. They're just barely starting to root, but I think they'll be fine in some dirt if I can keep it moist. This container does not have a hole in it. I do plan on keeping this inside, I think, for now. In general, Pothos like to have some drainage, but because I water very sparingly, I don't worry about it. These cuttings came off of a hanging basket that I have in my bedroom. It doesn't have a drainage hole. It's almost always completely dry. So it doesn't have time to get rotted or anything. So yeah, I'm going to stick both of the cuttings in here so that it can be a little bit full. If I just put one cutting in, it might look a little bit sad. I think that looks pretty cute. Just to see which size stand we like best. This one, kind of, do we want the stand to be bigger so it doesn't feel top heavy? I don't know. I'll have to experiment with that a little bit. Wash off the outside a little bit. Maybe I'll go with the medium. The small seems to fit just right. Maybe I'll go with the small. I was just putting these plants back here. This is where they live. This one was like this. And I just thought, well, what would happen if we stuck this on here? And I think I like it because it's adding a little bit of height. It doesn't even bother me that it's square and round, but you guys will have to let me know what you think. I think I'm going to get a ton of use out of these little stands. What I love about putting a stand here is then I know when I water this pot that I'm not damaging the windowsill. So I had a little piece of Japanese painted fern, and I was trying to think like, what could I put in here, leave it outside, and it won't suffer if it gets too much water because there's no drainage. I know inside it will be fine. And I thought, a fern. And then I remembered that I had this little piece of fern growing in my Solomon seal. And so I'm going to see how it does in here. It may not last, but I thought it'd be kind of cute. I think that's sweet. I feel like this container is so cute that just whatever you put in there is going to look adorable. I'm going to try to be a little bit sparing on water. I love it. Love it. Love it. Now I was trying to think what I could put in here. I have Ajuga. Might try some Ajuga. See how that does. This Ajuga has gotten a little bit out of bounds, so I can go ahead and dig a little bit of this up. Might not look the best though in that container. We'll see if I can get it to look decent. It's a little bit not as purple as I would like, but that's okay. All the scissors in my house get lost, and so I still have these little kid ones from when my kids were little. They're like my backup scissors when I can't find anything else. All right. Let's fill this up with some dirt. I was told by master gardeners that it's not dirt, it's soil. And if you want to know the difference, soil has living organisms in it and dirt is dead. So that's the difference. I'm trying to use correct terms, so I'm going to correct myself now. I'm going to do soil, although this potting mix is there anything alive in it? I don't know. Not sure about that one. I'm just going to stick this guy here for now. If you watched the video of my vignettes, this was just moss, but I went ahead and added this little hardy begonia. It was a little seedling coming up in the yard, and I've kept it watered. I did put a little bit of dirt in there. There's a little tiny one in the tiniest pot, and then there's a medium-sized one here. Loving those hardy begonias. Oh my goodness. I'm slightly obsessed. Here's what those hardy begonias look like in the garden. Someone gave me like 3 little pieces of this last year, and I planted them. They came back from the roots and they reseeded, and I had to move these this spring, but they're still doing really good. I love them so much. And I am in zone 6B and no problem coming back through after the winter. I got this at an antique store a long time ago. I don't know what its original use was. I drilled 3 holes in the bottom and I've had succulents in it. This is my side yard where I've pretty much dug everything up. So it's just weeds and then like things that are coming back up. So I dug up a bunch of this sedum ground cover, but I evidently missed a spot and it's kind of filled in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick this into this container. It's full of all kinds of stuff. Thinking of adding in some other things. I have some Ajuga in my side by my waterfall that is just going to be dug up by the city. So maybe I'll just fill this in with a bunch of stuff. I think I'm just going to stick it right in the middle there and call it good. I'm going to climb back here. The one I got, oof, this looks risky. Let's go a little bit. Oh gosh, I got right in a spider web. No, I'm done. That was not good. I don't like that. I wanted to get some blooms from the back, but, oh, I thought that was a hummingbird. It's a butterfly. I wanted to get some blooms from the back, but it's hard to get back there with the spiders and all the creepy crawlies. I'm just gonna not do that. I suspect that this might not be waterproof, so rather than filling this up with water, I just got a little mason jar of water to put in there. These oak leaf hydrangea blooms are from when I cut way back my, not Annabelle, my Alice oak leaf hydrangea, and I had to dig it up. Anyway, they've been in the house for a week. My goal is that they will just kind of dry. So I'm just going to see if I can, I'm not sure if I can get them in. This might be tricky. Do I put the jar in first or do I put these in here first? I think I'm going to try to get these in the jar. They've been in a much larger jar, so that's why it's going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to see if I can get this to go down in here. See how we do. How's that looking? Not bad. Like I said, I'm hoping they'll kind of dry. So there is, I know these don't look great. Like I said, they've been in here for a week, but when I went to go trim my Annabelles, I got back in the spider web and I was all done messing with the Annabelles. I'm experimenting with where I want to put this. Like, trying to decide what I want it to just be right here, just as a random art piece. What do you guys think? Okay, I think I figured out where I want this to go. I've kind of experimented in a couple of different places. I'm thinking, so I don't even know if you can see, there's a U here. So here's a U. And that's new. I just moved it here. It came from another spot in the yard. I have this Annabelle hydrangea behind, and I'm thinking if I put this vertical as like a trellis behind the U in front of the Annabelle. It would stop the Annabelle from laying on the U and maybe kind of prop up that Annabelle just a little bit. So I'm not necessarily putting this permanently here right this second. Spider webs everywhere. But I'm going to just take a look and see what I think. If I put that, I'd have to attach some poles. But I think the idea is a sound one. I don't think I would believe it if I hadn't been there myself, but everything in this video I got in one trip for less than $40 with the discount. And now the only exception is that mirror that I got for $20 off of Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you have to drive a little bit further to get the good deals. So I did drive 50 minutes there and 50 minutes back to get that $20 mirror, but it was well worth it. I have been inspired by mirrors in the garden for a long time, and I've always got my eye out for a nice big one, so I was super excited to find this. These photos are from a local garden tour about 3 years ago, and I just loved how the mirrors were used in the garden. Notice all of the salvaged pieces too. I just love that. I'm so inspired by gardens like this. One other thing I got at the thrift store, this necklace. Although it was different. It had a bunch of stuff on it, and I just really liked these particular little, with the wire twisting around in the teardrop. That was really what I liked. And there was more of those, and there was circles, and there was gold circles, and there was white circles, and it was a little bit much. But I just really liked these little teardrops. So I went ahead and brought it home and removed most of it and just put those 3 little teardrops on the end. So that was also a thrift store find. I think it was $4.99 if I remember correctly. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you're inspired to do a little bit of crafty, thrifting, gardening of your own.